Sometimes in Excel you'll want to take two cells and combine them together. Let's take a look at how to do this. Here we have three different ways to join your cells together, and in this example we're going to be joining the cells that we have in column C, D, and E inside of our cell in column B using different functions in column A. So to get started here with this first one, we have the AND sign or ampersand. Now, you may be familiar in using the AND sign to mark it as the world, and however, in Excel, the AND sign is kind of like the glue stick. So what we can do is use it in between the cells that we want to glue together as the glue. So let's test this out. If we click inside cell B3 and type our equal sign to start off the function, the first thing that we need to do is select the first cell that we want to combine. In this case, it is cell C3. Next, if we want to combine that with cell D3, we need to remember to add that glue in between so that it sticks. So just go in and type the AND sign on your keyboard. And now we're going to put the cell reference for D3. And then lastly, to combine it again with cell E3, we can go in with that sign and type E3. If we click enter, it will go ahead and combine those cells. Now that's great and all, but I kind of need a space in between these different cells. What am I supposed to do with this giant word? Not to worry. Here's a trick to add spaces using this AND method. So, all we need to do is, I'm going to start us over here. If we type equals, click on our first cell reference C3, followed by the AND sign, and now we're going to join it into cell D3. We're going to add a space in between the AND signs. Now, this is something incredibly important to remember across all of Excel. Whenever you are using a string of text inside of a function, we need to put that text in quotation marks. So we can't just go in here and type a space like this, or it will not work. We need to put a space in quotation marks. And now, similar to our AND sign gluing method, we're going to add in another AND sign here and stick it to our cell reference for D3. Same pattern here. And sign again to join it. Followed by our space and quotation marks, and then our AND sign where we can click on E3. Alright, now let's see what happens. If I click on enter, all of those will be combined together with a space in between. Let's move on to the other two options that we have here that we can use to essentially join our cells together. This function is called concatenate, or concat for short. And what we can do here is if we type concat, as you can see, there are a few different arguments. It's essentially saying input text 1 and then the dot is signaling you can go in and add additional pieces of text or cell references. So in our case here, if we want to combine these three cells, all we have to do is highlight the three of them and close our parentheses, and that will go ahead and combine them. Now, similar to what we just did before, let's say we want the spaces in between. We can use a similar method. So if I come back and type concat, and click on the first cell that we want to combine, I can now use a comma to move into the next argument, and instead of clicking on cell D5, we can put a space in quotation marks as our argument, and now we can insert D5 followed by another space in quotes, followed by E5, and that is the way with the concat function to combine your different cells together with spaces. Now this third one here is my favorite, and it is the TEXTJOIN function. And what's really nice about the TEXTJOIN function is that it's actually an argument built in for you to specify the delimiter, aka what symbol you want to use between your different cell references. In order to use this, all we need to do is type equals TEXTJOIN into our cell, and as you can see, there are three different arguments. The first one is our delimiter, so this is where we tell Excel what symbol we want to use in between each of the cells that we are combining. And let's stick with the theme here and use the space again. We must remember that the space inside quotation marks, as it is a string of text within our function. The second argument here is ignore empty. So this is where we tell Excel what we want it to do if we're highlighting an area that has empty cells in it. Do we want them included or do we want to exclude them? In this case here, we don't have any empty cells that we're working with, so I'm just going to type in true. And now we can go ahead and highlight the different cells that we're going to combine. I'm going to close my parentheses here and click on Enter. And now we'll combine our 3 cells with space. So there's many different uses for all 3 of these, and it's really just user preference on which one you like the most. However, a great point about the text join is if you have an entire long list of items you want to combine and you want to add that space in between, it is much simpler than the AND sign method or the concatenate method, as you won't have to manually go in and put in the AND sign inside of the quotes for each, because text join does have that nice delimiter argument baked right in. If you find this video helpful, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support will keep the channel running. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.